Hi guys, welcome to be frank, probably one of the best masterclasses that we've dropped for a long time. And this is around the core basis that you really need for your business to get to the next level. An offer isn't just some bells and whistles opportunity for us to market to you. This is at the foundation for a coach, consultant, or an expert within their business to drive the best people in, to give them the right opportunity, and even how to build out your social media all around it. So let's jump straight into exactly what you need to do. So we're going to talk to you today about 5 of the key steps that grew my coaching business to over £58,000 in a single month. And it's really, really important that this isn't just a case of, okay, well, how did he do it? Can I do the same? It's how can we do that without any of the time delays? And by the end of this session, you're going to be able to break this down in a systematized way. Now, just to be clear, at the end of this, I'm not going to ask you to buy anything. I don't have any products. There's no magic upsell. The only thing we're going to give you an opportunity for at the end of this is that you can hop on a call with myself or one of the team to talk in a more tailored version. And that's only if you want to do it. So you're already here, buckle yourself in, take some notes, and jot down exactly how you're going to utilize each of these 5 steps for you to move your business forward straight away. So let's jump into it. So why are you here? For everyone out there, we want to get more high-paying clients, right? That's the nature of this. And right now, there's a number of reasons why we don't. And that starts with the offer. And here's the interesting stat. 86% of coaches, consultants, and experts don't have an offer that is to the high enough standard to hit over 6 figures per year. So if you're already in that bracket, well done you. Let's get it better. And if you're not at that bracket, you're in for an absolute treat. So what are we actually going to do today? We're going to give you practical but actionable things that you can do in a step-by-step basis. So you can literally go off today and use real-world practical strategies that actually work within your business. So it depends who you are. Some people that come to us are people that have literally got no clients right now. We can help you on that. People that are already making that 5K per month, you can still get this as well and still rocket the business. To be frank, you're probably in one of the most rewarded part of this because you've already got some idea of what works, and we're tuning the race car to go from being a Nissan Micra to a Formula One car. Now, some people ask me, do they need to have any technical ability? With this, you really don't. This is about getting the right strategies in place that anyone can use. And do you need to have a team? And again, it's a no. So if you're a solopreneur, standalone business, and if you've got a team, you don't even need to take them away from their work to get this moving forward. So let's jump really into what we're talking about today. What are you actually going to be learning? 1, we're going to break down what actually is an offer in the real way of making money. 2, why you need an offer. 3, how can you use this for marketing? And more importantly, how can we get this done in a quick fashion? I don't want to take up a huge amount of your time for no reason at all. I want it to be sharp, fast, and ready to go. So let's jump into it. And I want you to think about this with new eyes. So let's forget about what you've done. Forget about your justification. What got you to where you are now isn't necessarily going to get to the next stage. And we're going to break all of this down. Now, you'll see at the bottom of this, by the way, there is a booking slot that if you decide that you want to go off and book a call with myself, with the team, you can hit that button, add your details, and you'll get a more tailored version of this with the team so you know exactly what to expect. So an offer itself is a clearly defined result that is timely, precise, with a result in place. So think of it like lose 5 kilograms in 6 weeks without the need to run. Now, here's the big tagline. Then it's talking about our niche, perfect for hard-working dads. Now, there's plenty of other options that you could go into that with, right? You can give a pinpoint accurate result in a timely fashion without a pain point and to our avatar. So you want to think, who is exactly going to be the person? How can we take the pain away? What's going to be the target time and what's the target result? We want to stand out from the crowd with our offer. The world is so busy now, and think if 80-something% of people don't have a clear offer, you will stand out head and shoulders above the rest when you get this right. Now, it also needs to be 100% clear without the needing of an external explanation. Think of it like a joke. If someone tells you a joke and then they've got to explain the joke, it wasn't delivered in the right way, right? Are you with me so far? Good. Okay, so why do you need this? And we're going to keep this whole video short. I want to give you punchy, practical advice. Think about how many people are in your industry. If the vast majority don't have this, you're going to stand out straight away. You've also got to bear in mind, people don't know you. You're great, I know you are, right? You're a professional, you're going to get them results. They don't know that. You are a faceless person in the crowd of just someone who could have empty promises. And there's a lot of people out there that do it. And you can talk about they should believe me and I'm this and I'm that, but they need to understand. And when you get your offer right, it is far easier to do exactly that. Next up, people have doubts about themselves. You won't be shocked about this, but think about it like this. I'm 42, and imagine if since I was 20, every single year I had set a target to lose 10 kilos. I am established now and fully reaffirmed that for over 20 years, I am used to submitting something, doing it, giving up, and failing. So even when you have a good product or service, we have to look at the doubts that people have as well. Because even if they're not relevant to you, they are relevant to them, and it's going to change the likelihood of success, which we're going to come on to in a moment. You've got to also bear in mind that people are easily distracted, even if you're epic, and I know you are. You have to realize that people get distracted quick. So if it's, oh, that sounds all right, I'll look at it later, they probably won't. And they have the best intentions. So we've got to make sure that this offer is so clear that they go, oh my God, I need to know more. And that's what we're going to help you do. So think about why you're here. And there's a couple of quick points before we jump straight into this. You want to create an offer, right? You want to have, or you already have a good offer, but you want it to go from good to being great. You've got a product that is currently not selling to the level you expected, or maybe you're just darn curious about what we're actually going to be talking today. I know we've had a lot of conversations online about this recently, so it's good that you've took the time to come in. Whichever one of these four it is fine where you are. Your location is your location. And to be completely frank, most people out there that come on this type of conversation, even if you take it no further and you do the work yourself, you will see a spike in results. Now, as I said earlier, there's a button outside of this box where you can book a call. This is a call to go more in detail about your business, to give you a 35,000-foot professional overview on precise areas. This is an application process. This is not an automatic, we will take anyone on. We typically are turning down around 30 to 35% of people, but here's the good news. Say if you book in for a call and we're not a good fit, we won't waste your time. If we can't help you, we will say, oh, we don't think you're a good fit. But if you're open to it, and we've got a number of coaches or similar people out there. For example, we had someone recently, they wanted our help, and actually what they needed was an ad specialist. So we've referred them to somebody else. And if that's the case, we won't even take the call, because we only want to get on a call where, to be frank, we can increase your value that you see us for. If you can see us as more valuable, you're more likely to work with us in the future. And let's be frank, if you look at some of our great people, like Laurie's joined us recently. She's on target to make, I think, 12,000, and she's been with us 5 weeks. It's real big. This is one of the big things for your business. So let's jump into it. You're either looking for one or two things. You're either looking to get to that magical 6-figure plus a year. Don't understand why everyone has that, but without having a costly team. The offer is a catalyst for that. Or you're looking for the steps to actually create the offer itself. Now, we're going to deliver on both of those for you. So what I want you to think about is a couple of the myths that are out there. First and foremost, that you might think that selling the high ticket side is harder than the low ticket, and it's really not. Or you might think that your high ticket clients are actually going to be higher demanding. They're not. When you have your offer down in the right way, you will be far more effective in your business. You will attract the right people that like to pay the higher money because they have a higher expectation. And as long as you can deliver on the results that we build out, you're going to be absolutely over the moon, and so are they. Right, let's jump in. Now, the big thing that most people forget, you think everyone else out there has everything sussed, and they don't. Most coaches think other coaches are overcharging, so they get nervous about overcharging. It's not about overcharging. It's understanding what this offer does, what is the value to the other person over time, and what will they pay to have what you have, and how do we narrate that in a way that's going to make them happier. Okay, so couple of hidden components I want you to think about. One, you're a risk, right? You need to understand how you can remove it. Two, how can you increase the likelihood of success? Three, how can we make them feel like you're talking to them? And four, how can you remove the thorn from their side? Now, a prime example of this recently was a company we worked with in New York, who'd done just under $1 million in sales. And with the tweaks and performances we changed, actually took them over $6.4 million inside of 6 months of working with us. Now, I'm not doing this to impress people. I'm saying one of the core parts of this was the offer. And we're literally giving you this for free today. But then there's other things that you can do which add millions in revenue. So if you find value of this and you didn't realize that this was important, what I want you to then think of is, okay, so if I didn't know that was important, how many other things are out there as well, right? That also could be important. Okay, so first and foremost, you are a risk. And most people don't realize this. By someone hiring you in their business, their service, their life, it is not just, okay, the only thing is a potential positive result. You could, in theory, not you, but someone else, could lower their profits, reduce their sales, lower their mental state, cause damage and ruin their culture. There's so many things that could happen. And what we've got to do is take ourselves out. And what I like to do is this. Imagine there was 100 people in a line. And on the floor, all there was a clear and concise offer. We will double your sales in the next 60 days, guaranteed, without you having to cold call. That would stand out far more than we're great at sales. We're passionate. What we want to do is be able to remove that risk. Next up, you've got to look at it and think, what's the worst case scenario? If I said to you now that you could join our coaching program and we work with you and build our strategies, etc., and if you don't make at least £30,000 in extra sales, we'll refund you if you follow our steps. All you then got to do is believe that we will stand by our word. And if you believe we'll stand by our word, you are more likely to commit to the work we do. And if you're more likely to commit to the work we do and follow the steps, you're more likely to get the results, therefore not needing a guarantee. But if you can get that worst case scenario to still be worth it. So imagine I'm going to help you become 6 figures a year, but I only make you £30,000 this year, but you make another £30,000 a year for the rest of your life, and you work for 20 years, that's £600,000 extra. If you've spent £10,000 on that, that's a blooming good worst case scenario that still makes it worth it. Are you with me? Now you've all got to understand, when you're trying to reduce the risk, is where they have came from. Everyone's journey has been different. Everyone's journey has had different bumps in the road. And just because you know that that bump won't happen to them, if they believe that bump is an issue, you have to narrate this to get it in the right way. And when we can reduce all of those key points in there, it's going to make it far easier. Next up, we need to increase their belief in this becoming a success. First off, we've got to be precise on the pain point you fix. Remember we said earlier, lose 5 kilos in 6 weeks, blah, blah, blah. Precise. We've got to make it universal. If you can increase the likelihood of success for everyone if they just follow your steps, then it doesn't matter. Well, what about me that I've got dark hair? What about me I'm overweight? What about me I live in this country? What about me I have this religion? Whatever it could be, if you can make it that it is universally effective, where the steps are so simple and increase their likelihood of success, they will be more likely to take the step. If someone tells me now that they are going to get me to run and that's how I need to lose the weight, I'm not interested. So my likelihood of success belief is lower because I don't believe I'll stick to the running. Again, having this as simple and effective steps, not how you think it's simple, how they'll think it's simple. And that's what we're going to cover in just a second. And then having social proof. Social proof is vitally important, but I want to stress to you, the way you deliver that social proof is as important as the social proof itself. Having just a random testimonial on a site is fine. What's really effective is an interview. What's really effective is a 5-minute interview, which really talks to the person, the pain points they had and where they are now, etc., etc. And then if you can cut those down to pinpoint areas that turn into short stories that you can then talk to people about, it becomes far easier. If I've got someone now who's worried about having dental work done, and I can explain a story about Steve, and Steve's just like this person, we can understand their pain points and they felt the same. This is what they went through, this was their beliefs, and this is how we helped. Then it becomes far easier for them to go off and actually take action behind it. Make sense? Okay. Next up, we have to talk directly to the buyer. I hear this all the time. Most people out there are talking in words and analogies and acronyms as if it shines you as an expert, and it can to some people. But typically for your buyer, they want to understand in a seamless manner exactly what you're saying. And if there's an acronym that you use now, but they're used to hearing a similar acronym that meant something different, it can put someone off. So lose the jargon. Next up, we've got to make them feel heard. A lot of the time out there's simple but real common mistakes that people make. And if you talk to these simple and common mistakes and then they don't see it as a problem and a barrier, they're more likely for us to actually take action. You've also got to show them where you are right now is normal, right? Every time that they feel that it's a barrier, they are likely to put the brakes on. And once the brakes are on, resistance is there. And with resistance, it's far harder to gain any traction. But if you're talking to someone and they say, well, actually, I woke up this morning and I cried my eyes out because I felt like a failure. And you say, yeah, you sound like a failure. That's not going to help. Oh my God, that's horrific. That's not going to help. But if you're like, listen, I remember when I was in exactly the same position you were, most of my clients have that point. Normally, after 3 weeks of working with me, people actually, and anyone who's been a client of mine will recognize this, will have the stage after 3 weeks where they don't like me because they're going through a growing phase. So if you're at a stage now where you're uncomfortable, you're sad, you have to realize you're breaking through, not breaking down. So having that conversation where you're talking to people directly with the way you structure your offer is really important because everyone makes mistakes. Everyone fails. That is not a limit for us. That's the reason to move forward. And also you need to be able to show them that where they are right now is the reason to do this now. Very much people think that when an objection, a hurdle, and a barrier comes in front of us, that's the reason to stop. But what you need to understand is actually that barrier often is the very reason you're ready to move forward. And it's vitally important. Okay, so now we've got the right perspective. Now we know what their location is. Now we know why they're stuck. Now we want to get them a quick win within their business. Now we need to prove there is a new way. And this is why it's so important to know the long-term journey. I want you to break down the offer. Imagine where they come from and their final stage in life. And you want to be able to break them down into a series of offers. Most people are trying to do all this in one go. You don't want to do that when you're starting off. You want to break them down into individual areas. Think about you guys now. You're on the stage of working out how to create an offer. This could be the very first stage for someone. Someone might not enjoy doing that themselves, so then they hire us to do it for them. Suddenly, they're at the next stage, and then they need this, and then they need this, and they need this. And each one has got another offer that draws that person in with a belief, a sense of security, a reduced level of resist, with a precise result on a set time scale. Make sense? You've also got to understand that on this long-term journey, there will be stumbling blocks that they face. You might not have faced them. But because I can run 5 miles without stopping, but you can only run 1 mile. What's better? To tell you that you should be able to run better, tell you to run more, or at each mile where that barrier is, that stumbling block, is to have something. But when this happens, we're going to do this. When this happens, then we do that. So when they look at the run, they have an elevated level of confidence about what's going to happen. Because now all of their worrying pain points, well, after a mile I get tired, and after 2 I get tired, and after 3 I get tired, after 4 I get cramp. If they know, well, when that happens, we're going to do this. When that happens, we're going to do that. When this happens, we're going to do that. It's going to be far easier for you to narrate your offer to those people. Because then the resistance they feel that normally would hold them back is now going, oh, okay, well, actually, normally, oh, no, so okay, that's good. And what about, oh, okay, and that's good. And suddenly they start having a belief that they can achieve what they are trying to set out, because you're tackling the stumbling blocks and you're making them to be benchmarks within the offer and the process of what you're going to do with them. Now, once we've shown them the blocks and how to overcome them, and you've narrated this throughout the offer itself, when they're reading that and looking at it, they start feeling more obliged that I can take action and get some degree of results. Now, this is something which a lot of people don't think about. At every doubting moment, you've got to have some degree of a solution. And what I want you to think about now is not for your dream client. When you think about your dream client, you think about the easiest client. What I want you to think about is when you've got your client, the perfect client that you could help, how can you increase their state of flow? As in, once they start, how can we stop any barriers to resistance and keep the momentum they've got? Because if we can keep the momentum and increase the flow, they are more likely to stay committed. For example, people work with us one-on-one. I work with them every day for 16 weeks. They have me on my phone, on WhatsApp, on voice notes every day for 16 weeks. So if they've got a problem right now, when I finish recording this, I'll have 5, 6, 8 messages on there. I send a voice note straight back. So imagine you're working in a business and you go, oh, crap, how do I do that? And you can voice note someone, okay, you said about this, I've done this, now this isn't working, what do I do? Instead of waiting for another week, which is a massive resistance, massive loss of flow, massive loss of motivation, you pick up the phone and go, hey, how do I do this? And you get a voice note back, boom, we're back on flow. And that's why it's so important. If you can help people stay committed within your offer, they are far more likely to continue with you and get the results that you said that they would get. Next, how do we reduce the drag, their baggage, the things that hold them back? People have to understand there are limiting behaviors and habits that people have. That's why they haven't got the results yet. And if you within your offer can talk to the things that cause the drag. And if I say, for example, with me, if I say to people, the primary reason people will not succeed is if they stop doing the 10 messages a day, if they don't do the voice notes on a daily basis, if they don't turn up every day, if they give up at 2 p.m. because they're tired, if they get attracted by going to the beach every day instead of doing the work. Now, those all sound hard, but if I say to you, listen, for 16 weeks, I just need you to do this every day. And once you've done that, you're going to have a business where someone else can do it and you'll never have to do it again. It is far more likely that person will stick to it because then you go, okay, I've only got to do this for this amount of time to my full potential, then I'll go through. Now they've got a timeline of what to do. Imagine if I said, you can lose weight now if you run every day for 16 weeks, but you'll never have to run again. I'd be more likely to, but I still wouldn't want to, but I'd be more likely. And every time we can get a more likely, it's going to help us with our offer. Okay. Now, a lot of people, and this is more of a bonus point, what I want you to work out when we've gone through all of this, we're going to recap it in a second. I want you to break down every reason why someone wouldn't buy your program. Every reason. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time to watch the videos. I suck at this type of stuff. I've tried a course before and it failed. I don't think I've got the mindset for it. I'm not good at writing. I've got kids. I'm busy with work. I've got a family. All of them. We had 28 problems when we did it. Now what I want you to do is take every single one of these 28 problems and I want you to convert them into solutions within your offer. Now, if you look at what we do on a one-on-one basis, we've got 16 weeks and each week is based around these problems. So the 28 problems we have, we cover around 2 of those in each session each week. So that when they look at it, any limiting belief that they have is covered in there as an easy, high flow, low resistance opportunity for them to overcome any of the hurdles and get the result that they want. But here's the thing. If you take these problems, you convert them into solutions for your offer for each step of what you're going to do with them. You can also then take them and create 3 to 8 pieces of content around each area. Imagine you're doing weight loss. And the big concern for people is, I don't have time to buy healthy food. And you start then creating solutions. And your solution could be 10 simple recipes that take less than 6 minutes to make. Now, your social media could be, each one could be a different recipe. See what I'm saying? So now when you've got your problems and you've got your solutions and you've got your offer and you've reduced the risk and you've increased the flow and you've removed the resistance and you've got the content, if you do 3 to 8 of these 28 problems like we had, yours will be different. You can have anywhere from, we've got around 168 in total that we have now. And once you've recorded all this content and you put it out there, it's talking to the actual problems that the people have. So when they hear your offer, they go, my God, this is exactly what I need. Now, this is the whole point. You need to go off and build your title. What is that catchy title? Whether that's going to be lose 5 kg in 6 weeks without the need to run, right? Whatever that title is going to be, work out the big title that talks directly to them. So that could be lose 5 kg in 6 weeks without the need to run, perfect for whatever, men with one leg, whatever it is you're working with. I don't know why I came up with that title. Create the steps all the way through. For example, if you've done your problems, your solutions, and you've broke them down like we've done with our one-on-one program, our solutions were turned into 16 different areas. And we work on each one for 16 weeks, meaning after 16 weeks, people have got the business they needed with all the pain points removed. Then we remove all the barriers. We find the barriers, the blocks, the mindsets, the limiting beliefs, the skill sets, whatever it is, and you remove all of those. And you convert those into those solutions. So now you've got a title, the steps, the barriers are gone, and the solutions are there. You not only have a full offer, but you also have a methodology behind it. So let's recap. You've got to remember, this has to reduce the risk for them. You have to increase the chance of them succeeding. It needs to make you stand out from other people. And it needs to give, not gives, it needs to give a result in a specific time frame. So what now? You've watched it. We've kept it quick. We've kept it short. You can watch it all back and you can go through this again. You're here because you want change. If you're seeing my handsome or ugly, whichever one you go with, face right now, you've sat through this because you want to get this right. You've probably got to worry that you're going to get sold to, which is understandable. Or you don't believe that we might be able to help you. And the final one is you might think that you can't afford to take action within your business. Now, as I said to you earlier, we're not going to propose an actual proposal for you. What we do is tailored. But you're welcome to come in and join us and book a call. We can either talk in the DMs or you literally hit the button outside of this. If you've took this time to sit on a 15-minute, 20-minute conversation, take the time now to book a call. We're not going to press you into joining. Add your details, answer the questions. If we can't help, we will tell you at that point. And even when you're on the call, if you decide we're not for you, I promise you, when you get off the call, you will feel even better about what we have just covered. And if you can progress in your business on this, even without our help, you'll come back to us later down the line. There's no pressure. We don't take everyone on. And you're going to get more guidance either way from what we're doing. You've literally got nothing to lose. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this of benefit. We wanted to break this down so you can go off and do it yourself, but we'd love to work with you. And over the space of 7 days, we can create a monster of this for you, with you, one-on-one working in your business. But it starts with where you are now, and you've done a great thing by getting started. So I appreciate that. But what we'd like to do now is see you on a call. So why not drop in the DMs or hit the button now, and I'll see you in there. Thanks for joining.